Hi, this is William Steele with All in VR. Are you all in VR? I am. So today we're going to talk about something that I've been getting a lot of feedback from when I posted a video hinting that I found a way to use the Nreal glasses, the Nreal Lite glasses, while keeping your phone charged. And this has been something that a lot of people have been asking about, and I finally do have a solution, as I hinted at, and we're going to talk about how I came to figuring out the answer to that solution. So I tried a lot of different solutions, as have a lot of other people, all sorts of different USB dongles, particularly where you have a USB-C that you plug into your phone, a male USB-C, to two female USB-Cs, and the way that they all work is they basically allow you to pass through USB devices. While a lot of them say it's for USB audio, they also work for a lot of other things. Allow you to charge your phone, use USB headphones, and plug in other USB devices will work as well. However, what they don't pass through is USB-C video, also known as DisplayPort alt mode over USB-C. And I've been wondering, like, what could work. I tried all sorts of things. I tried different kinds of USB hubs. I even tried a few different Thunderbolt docks. I actually have two Thunderbolt 3 docks. One is an Akitio Thunder Dock Pro or something like that, and another one is the pluggable Thunderbolt 3 dock. And neither of those worked. I thought that maybe that would be a possibility, but no. So I wondered, is there any device or any way? So I looked at ways of maybe some kind of wiring diagram where I could pass through the power into a custom-made cable, like splicing something. A lot of people suggested that, and I'm sure there probably is a way, but as other people suggested, I don't want to tear apart my $600 Nreal Lite just to do that. I thought that I could probably you could probably do something with a female connector and try to make something work. But again, that seemed like an awful lot of work. I was wondering if there's anything off the shelf. So I figured, well, instead of focusing on the Nreal Lite, why don't we think about passing video over USB-C or DisplayPort alt mode? In my findings, especially a lot of things on Reddit, after many Google searches, I started to come to some suggestions that apparently Thunderbolt 4 works differently than Thunderbolt 3, and that it's actually fully backwards compatible with USB 3, specifically USB 3 DisplayPort alt mode video. And what it supposedly could do is Thunderbolt 4 connected to a USB only port could allow you to pass through, a Thunderbolt 4 device could allow you to pass through the DisplayPort audio or DisplayPort video through the USB-C and out the other end of the device. And that got me thinking, after asking some questions on Reddit about this, would we be able to use like a Thunderbolt 4 dock? And I wondered, could I use maybe one of these Thunderbolt 4 devices, such as a Thunderbolt dock, or even better, something that doesn't already have built-in HDMI out on it or DisplayPort out, because that's obviously going to take that DisplayPort alt mode automatically and try to pass it through those ports. Is there a device that has none of that? And I came across something, and it was a Thunderbolt 4 hub, not a Thunderbolt 4 dock. And everything that I read indicated that Thunderbolt 4 could actually do this while being backwards compatible with USB. Now, was this going to work with my Android phone? God only knew. But now is the big reveal. So one person pointed out that yes, it was a Thunderbolt 4 cable in the video you saw, and that was because of what I found was a Thunderbolt 4 device. So why does Thunderbolt 4 work as opposed to a Thunderbolt 3 hub? Apparently, the USB 4 spec is backwards compatible with USB 3, meaning that DisplayPort alt mode or DisplayPort video that comes out over USB-C will flow through to a Thunderbolt 4 dock. Or, in this case, something else I discovered, a Thunderbolt 4 hub. And while I wasn't sure if this would work, I decided I would order it. So now, we have the big reveal. And here we have the OWC Thunderbolt 4 hub. And I really didn't expect this to work. I went to B&H, actually had to order some other things for a project I'm working on. I figured, why not? Yes, it is $179, but I figured it was worth a shot, and it's, well, it works. So basically, this has one input, which you plug your phone into right here, and 3 outputs, which is where you plug in the Nreal lights. Now, the one downside of this is that we do have a ginormous power supply. But, I mean, I think it's 100 plus watts. I don't know if it's 150 watts or what it is. Let's see what it says. This is a 110 watt power supply, 20 volts. So you have to plug it in to keep it powered, and it'll light up when you do that. I'm not going to plug it in right now. I'll do that in a moment when I do a demo. Right now I'm actually using my phone that I use for the Nreal lights for recording this video. So I'll need to swap that out in a few minutes. So you plug in, phone goes in one end, like so. That will keep your phone charged. And the Nreal light will just go in the other end. Whoops, yeah, I should just knock that thing around as much as I can, right? Okay. And you plug in the Nreal light in the other ends, and everything stays powered. And not only does it stay powered, it will keep the device powered while you're using it, and it'll keep your phone, if it starts at a lower state of charge, your phone will actually go all the way up to 100%. It does not drain the battery. And what's also interesting, because the battery isn't draining, I believe a lot of the heat comes from the phone draining the battery very quickly. Not so much from the heat that the processor generates, but more from draining the battery. Because while this is plugged in and I'm using it, my phone doesn't get hot at all, which is fantastic. So how is this practical? Yes, you have to stay plugged into a wall outlet. One of the things we're going to test is using a long USB-C cable to see if we can just have a long, 10-foot or 15-foot cable. The ones that we use for the Oculus Quests, the link cables, we're going to try to see if that will work. If I plug in a female-to-female adapter, see if we can use it that way. That will be interesting as well. There's a few things to figure out. And finally, one other thing that I think is important to note. This is a 20-volt power supply. Now, if you wanted to make this battery powered, that should be pretty simple. In theory, you would just need one of these barrel plugs and a 20-volt battery, something that can supply enough voltage and amps. And honestly, we're not going through ridiculous amounts of power, so we probably don't need 100 watts. Something like a battery that would power a drill, a cordless drill battery that's 20 volts. They have lots of those. I don't see why that couldn't work. So yeah, so it works. The first thing that actually works, and it was all just because of trying to figure out what could possibly do this, and the answer is Thunderbolt 4 devices. Now, would a Thunderbolt 4 dock work? I have no idea. All I can say is this Thunderbolt 4 hub 100% does work, and I imagine any Thunderbolt 4 hub would work. In terms of Thunderbolt 4 dock, if anybody has a Thunderbolt 4 dock and you want to try it out, let me know if that works. I'm not going to go buy another one just to try a Thunderbolt 4 dock because this was already expensive enough, and I intend to keep it because of it. It worked great. And of course, I spent hours in B&H and picked this up while I was there. So on to the next part where we will experiment with a few things. All right, so now I have power, and we're going to plug this bad boy right into here, and you'll see she lights up. And Where is my phone? Here's my phone. Let's go over here, grab my phone that has the app plugged into it. Now you can see this time for real, Thunderbolt 4 cord is gonna go into here. Let's unlock the phone and we're gonna plug it in. And it's gonna boot up Nebula in a moment. Look at that. Comes right up and it should go into, it said it was connected, and it should allow me to go to MR space. So now I'm gonna just put this on to confirm that that's all working. And just so you know, there's no trickery going on. This is plugged all directly into here, right? And we're gonna go to MR space. And we can start to hear it. And we can see it. And what I will do, just to prove that this is actually working, is we'll go through here. Now, it's interesting. Am I still? Oh yeah, I am charging. Okay, good. And you can see my phone is charging. In fact, it is still charging there. And if we go in here, I gotta cover that thing so see, we'll put it in here, and we should be able to see a little bit what's going on in here. Let's see here. Where's the lens on this phone? Let's see here. There's a way to show it here. Oops. There goes my mic battery. Okay, can we see through here? I can. Wait, how does it know that I'm not? What happens? Interesting. Oh, I'm probably gonna bring up the menu. The menu. Oh yeah, menu. Okay, there we go. That's why I need to do this. You'll hold this here. This is a little bit tricky. Trying to make this work, but there we go. Okay. Now you can see it's not the best viewing image, but to show you that this is in fact all working the way it should. Now what we're going to try is we're going to try to, after I move over with my battery going to my mic, ay, caramba, there we go. All right. Now what we're going to try is we're going to try plugging in another cable here. So let's see how that's going to work. Let me put in this extension. I'm going to use this guy right here. So I've got one of these link cables. Now this is not an original Oculus link cable, but it works just as well. It's one I got on Amazon a while ago, even though I've never ever needed to use anything but virtual desktop, or what do you call it, or wireless link. But that's quite all right. So I have no idea if this is going to work. I haven't even tried this yet. So this for me is completely new. So I guess we'll just plug this into here. And that would mean then I need to unplug that from here. So this is a first. You're actually experiencing this as I am experiencing this. And we're going to plug this into that. Okay. Let's go over there. Why do I feel like, you know, a magician who's trying to prove that like everything is legit? But it definitely is. All right. So, but I have no idea if this is going to work. So this very well may not. But I wouldn't be too surprised if it does work. We'll plug that in. Did I speak too soon? No, nothing's happening. So maybe that doesn't work. That may be a limitation then. So as far as I can tell, that does appear like it could be a limitation. Let's try that again. Flip it. All right, so it doesn't work like that. Now, what it could be is that this dongle doesn't support. Oh, wait, oh. I just flipped it around. Something happened, but I'm not seeing anything yet on the glasses. Interesting. So it seems to kind of think that the glasses are connected, but that, nope, I got an error. Display device not find. Assuming they mean not found. Okay, that would be cool if it worked, but interesting, it kind of found it, but it didn't entirely find it. So what if I just try to disconnect my phone from here again? And let's try this all from scratch. So let's unplug you, just plug you back in. Plug that back in one more time. And let's see. Okay, that didn't like it. It's not supported for audio. So it might be that, I don't know if it's the cable obviously supports, well, I actually don't know if this cable does support USB-C alt mode. Could actually very well be that. Let's try something else in a moment. Now, just out of amusement, let's see what happens. So obviously that's not going to work. Okay. But let's try this. Let's try plugging that in to here. Which obviously won't work with the glasses, but let's try plugging you into the phone. And then we'll try plugging the glasses back in. Okay, so you're in here. That's working for power. That's always nice. Okay. And let's see if I plug this in, see if that works in that direction. Because that might tell me if it's this thing or not. All right, so maybe it got the same error message again. So my guess is that maybe this cable doesn't support. So if you had a long enough cable, in theory, that could support USB-C display alt mode. Now there's a couple different variations we can try. So I'm gonna go get maybe some other cables and just out of curiosity see if there's any common denominator to see what actually is not working. All right, so we have a few other cables we can try now. So let's first just try a regular old Thunderbolt 3 cable and see if that'll work in this whole setup. So we're going to plug you into here. We're going to plug you back into here with a Thunderbolt 3 cable and see if that works for us. Oh, okay, so Thunderbolt 3 cable works. And that's a 40 gigabit Thunderbolt 3 cable. I've got a handful of these. And let's try a USB-C cable, a USB-C 3.0, and see if that works. This is not Thunderbolt. This one is just as it says, super speed USB. Let's give that one a shot. Okay, let's see if you work. On either ends, for that matter. Okay. USB super speed. Getting power. Oh, connected to display. Oh, okay. So that did work. Interesting. But if there's a long cable, does not. Now, maybe the Oculus one would work. I don't have that with me. I have the official Oculus one. I believe that's back at my office. So that's interesting. Now, let's see if this has any bearing on anything, since that's working. Let's see what happens if I take you and plug you with this little adapter, because that'll tell me whether we could actually extend this or not. There just might be a limit. So let's see what we get. And so far I have nada. Try flipping this thing around. For some reason, sometimes it seems to work. I don't know why. Oh, connected to external display. So that did work. So it must be a limitation of the length of the cable is the only thing, or the cable itself maybe doesn't support. Although it can send data over USB, I guess it does not support DisplayPort alt mode on that particular cable. So you can find a long enough cable that supports DisplayPort alt mode, you'll be fine. Here's a slightly longer one. Let's try that. Alrighty, so let's now plug you in. And I believe this might even be an active cable. Okay, but it seems that this coupler only seems to work one way half the time, because now this time it didn't work. Okay, and let's try flipping you around like before. Interesting. It doesn't like this cable for whatever reason. Assuming the cable hasn't gone bad. Okay, let's try one other thing before we go too crazy. I want to plug the phone back into Thunderbolt with the original Thunderbolt 4 cable that came with this dock. Where did I put that? That is not it. That's the pluggable. I've got too many cables now. CalDigit. J5 Creates. Nope. What are you? Or maybe you are. Oh, you are the Thunderbolt 4. Okay. Let's plug you back in. And I think you're still not going to work. You're still not going to like it. Let's try this CalDigit I have, though. I have a longer CalDigit cable. What we do know is this coupler actually does work. I don't think it's the best one. You might be able to find a better, higher quality coupler. Well, let's see if that does anything. All right, so that is not working. So let's try flipping this thing again, or wiggling it. It's a little loose in there. Still nothing. Interesting. This seems to work with a certain length of cable. I think you just worked, what did you work? You worked with this pluggable one, right? Let's try that again. See what's going on here. See if there's any rhyme or reason. Oops. Okay, there we go. So this one worked again. Now, why that works, it seems to work with, let's see, I go into mixed reality, make sure everything works there. That one works. Well, next I'll try this USB-C again. All right, so that does work. That works perfectly fine. All right, phone's now up to, was that 47%? Now it's 56%. So that charges everything, which is great. Now, let's try this again. I'll unplug you. I just want to try some different cables just to get an idea of what we would need. Although this cable is kind of crappy. It really doesn't fit nicely. Oh, there we go. It kind of clicked a little bit. Nothing. Okay. I'll flip it. So, what is the takeaway from all this? Well, it is indeed that you can power the Nreal Lites while keeping your phone charged at the same time using a Thunderbolt 4 hub. Would a Thunderbolt 4 dock work? Maybe, I don't know. If you have one you can try, I'd love to get your feedback, put something in the comments or do a video of your own and send it to me. I'd love to see if that works as well. Now, you might be like, well, I can't really walk around with this very much. Well, yes and no. You can't in terms of having this be portable at the moment. But again, as I said, you could, I don't see why not, hook up a battery to this to power it. It's just a regular barrel plug connector and power it that way. And then you could just put it in your pocket and walk around and and probably have like hours or if not a whole day's worth of use. How I still find this useful, even though I can't really walk around with it much, unless maybe I was to get a long cable, and even then I still need my phone, however, to control it, unfortunately. I wish they had a separate controller. But, well, or hand controls. You can use your hands for some applications. But it's useful for me because I can stream my desktop, or multiple screens on my desktop, to the Nreal Lites while I'm just sitting down next to my computer now and keep it powered. That was the main thing I wanted to use it for. I wanted to be able to use it so I could work in an augmented reality, work with virtual screens up around me in my real space instead of being stuck in a headset, a big bulky headset, for hours and doing my work. So while I do think it is nice to sometimes go into virtual reality and do your work in various productivity applications, I don't want to be in that all day. These I could wear probably for hours on end. They're fairly comfortable. I can still see everything around me. So I definitely find a use, and until Nreal actually has support, at least like PC support, so I can plug these into my PC and have a non-headlocked version of of my desktop. So I do intend, which I think would be totally awesome, is if I can take these and figure out a way to actually use them with the computer, so I can actually have pinned displays around me instead of having to stream them to my phone and then view them. If I get this directly plugged in, because then my computer would power it, my PC would power it, and it would be fine. So I do think it's possible. When I plug this in, I noticed that there aren't any required drivers, at least nothing seems to pop up that I need. So in theory, the devices that pop up, we should be able to interface with them. So maybe that's why Nreal hasn't done it, because they're expecting that we should be able to do it. I have no idea. I do believe it would be extremely useful. But anyway, there you go. You can keep it powered with OWC. Let's see, it's the OWC Thunderbolt hub. It is a Thunderbolt 4 hub. I don't know why they just call it the Thunderbolt 4 hub, but it is Thunderbolt 4 hub. And see if there's a model number here. Oh yeah, it's the OWC TB4HUB5P. There you go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I know you might be thinking it's $179. Yeah, it's a little pricey, but the glasses were $600. So, and I believe that there's a couple sub $100 Thunderbolt 4 docks coming out soon, if I'm not mistaken. So you might be able to, for less than $100, have something that might work as well. Again, I don't know if a dock will work, but it may. I guess if it's capable of passing through the DisplayPort alt mode through the USB-C ports on a dock, then in theory that I think would work. This opens up a whole new world of possibilities with the Nreal Lite. I'm really, really excited about it. Let me know what else you'd like me to try. I'm actually a software developer and engineer for VR, AR, and XR. So if there's anything, even if it's something you can't figure out software-wise, or something you want me to try, or something you want me to try to hack, let me know. I'd love to try to tackle something. That's what I live for, is doing things that nobody else has done yet, and nobody else had figured this out. And it wasn't even that complicated. Anybody with some time might have been able to figure it out, and I just happened to be the first one. So there you go. So thank you for watching my video. This is Will Steele with All in VR. I'm All in VR. Are you? And yes, if you're wondering, this is a boat. I live on a boat in New York Harbor. That's my electronics panel. It's a good electronics panel. Treats me well. Electronics panel, and yes, that does happen to be an Emmy, not for YouTube videos, for some technical work I did as on some software with a friend of mine. Okay, it's 9 o'clock at night on a Saturday. I'm getting hungry and I could use a drink. So I'll see you later.